Welcome back to the Budgeting Sisters. I'm April, and today we're going to discuss sinking funds. When I think of a definition of sinking funds, a sinking fund is something that it's an anticipated expense that you save for 6 months, a year, however long until it's due. You put a little bit aside, either monthly or every paycheck, so that when that bill becomes due, you already have the money for it. It's planned, it's there, and it's just waiting to be paid. So some examples of sinking funds that I thought of is some people include their emergency fund, taxes for your house, car tags, registration, whatever you might call it. Some people, a sinking fund could be that they're saving for a new house or a new apartment. They know they're going to have to move soon, so they start a sinking fund for that. Some people start a sinking fund for furniture, things they want. It doesn't have to be a bill that comes in the mail. It can be something you are working towards that you want to save for. Some of the other things that I do is medical or dental or vision. My pest control is every quarter. So I like to have that already saved for when they come. Some people have lawn care. That comes, 6 months out of the year. So that might be a good thing to have for a sinking fund. Let's not forget Christmas or any holidays, birthdays. Oh, I spelled that one wrong. Birthdays. And my favorite, vacation. Another one that I have seen, some people will do a sinking fund for bulk grocery shopping. Like Sam's, BJ's, Costco, those type of things. Or there was one time I had a sinking fund for a cow. My sister and I split a cow, butchered it, and that was something we planned for a year. And then when the time came, I had all the money sitting in my sinking fund. So let's talk about some of these sinking funds based on where we are right now. Let's say you need to register your car, and that needs to be done by 8/31. So you have roughly 6 months, and it's going to cost $450. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your calculator and you're just going to go $450 divided by 6 equals $75 a month you need to put aside to have all that money by the time your registration is due. Now, if you wanted to pay that, put something into that sinking fund every paycheck, and you got paid bi-weekly, then chances are you are going to get probably 13 paychecks. So you could do the $450 divided by 13, and you need to save $34.62 a paycheck. If you get paid weekly, then you would just divide that by 26, and you would save $17.31. And you would just put it in an envelope or in your bank account, in a separate bank account, however you do it to keep track of it. And just make that transfer every paycheck or every month. And then when August comes, the end of August, and you need to pay for your car to be registered, you should have $450 already in there for that payment. And you would just do the same thing with everything on this list. You know, for birthdays, if you know that, or let's do Father's Day. Father's Day is in June. So let's say by the end of May, you want $200. I do not spend that much on my father for Father's Day. But let's say $200 and you want it by May 31st. I think there's 31 days in May. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31. Okay, except for February. Okay, so you've got March, April, and May. So if you get paid bi-weekly, that means I would have 5 paychecks before I want $200. So I would do 200 divided by 5. And that means I need to save $40 a paycheck. And then at the same time, you would just go down the list. If you're not going on vacation for a year and a half, then you divide it out by that many paychecks. The whole purpose of sinking funds is to be saving throughout the year so that when the bill comes or the expenses incurred, whether it be a pet emergency fund or your vacation, when the time comes to do what you need to do, the funds are already there waiting for you. You plan for it. Hopefully you estimated roughly close to how much it's going to cost, and you can just pay it and not worry about it. And then once you're done, once you've paid your registration in September, you've got 12 months now to pay for the registration or car tags that are due in 2024. So you would take whatever amount you think it's going to be the next year. Say for some reason it stays the same and it stays $450. You would divide that by 12 and you need $37.50 a month to have all the funds that are needed by the time you need to register your car in August of 2024. Now, I currently only have a couple sinking funds. Let me see what I have that I can show you are my sinking funds. Gas is not a sinking fund. Grocery is not a sinking fund. This pets I use for food, cat litter. So I do let it accumulate. So I guess technically that could be considered a sinking fund. That's my snowball. That's not a sinking fund. Joshua is a sinking fund. That is my grandson. And I always want to have a little bit of money set aside. Ideally, I would love to have enough money set aside that it includes a plane ticket also, because he lives far away from me. But we're just getting started with sinking funds, so I'm slowly working my way up there. HOA, my HOA dues is a sinking fund for me. It is $500 a year. So every month I should be putting $41.67 into it. So that is what I am going to try to do. My HOA dues are due in April. So I have 12 months to save up for the dues that is due in 2024. So that is my HOA sinking fund. There's my car registration. My money for my car registration is actually in my bank. I can have like unlimited sub accounts off my bank and I can name them what I want. So I have one that's called registration. So once all the funds are in my sinking fund, if it's something that I know I am going to pay online that I don't have the option to pay the cash for, then I put it in the sub account at my bank. Boarding, this is for my dogs. I guess this is probably considered a sinking fund also. I travel a lot for work, so I have to pay to board at least one of my dogs while I am away. So I always try to have some money in here. I need to definitely beef this up because I am traveling 3 weeks in April. So that's going to be a chunk of money. And then fun money is just like my miscellaneous spending. So that isn't really, I wouldn't consider that a sinking fund, but more so because there's no bill that's going to come and those type of things. So that's what I currently have for my sinking funds. I do need to get going and get a Christmas sinking fund going. Most of the birthdays that are super expensive for me are over because both my kids were born in March. So they've both had their birthdays. But I should definitely start saving for next year for one. But I might do that in a savings challenge. I'm going to really try to get creative with my savings challenges, which you'll see more about in the next couple of videos. But I just wanted to come on, explain what sinking funds were, how you come up with what amount to put in your sinking fund when you are trying to save and for how many months and those type of things, and just show you what I currently have for sinking funds. And I'll probably update on a quarterly basis where my sinking funds are, what ones I have currently going, and where everything stands. So I hope you found this informative and you learned something. Think about what type of sinking funds you can have or need so that you're not surprised by bills that come in the mail. Comment below and let me know what sinking funds you have going, because I'm sure there are a lot of sinking funds I should have that I am just not remembering. So like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and keep coming back to watching The Budgeting Sisters, and have a very blessed day.